Welcome to this next episode of Millennial Real Life Budget Review. Today we are taking a look at an engaged couple who has a combined $47,000 in debt and are getting married in October. Watch how I rework their budget to hit their goals. Hey guys, welcome back to the Debt Free Millennials channel. I'm your host, Justine, and here we talk about all ways to achieve financial confidence and crush debt. And I'm helping you out by reviewing your budgets anonymously. And today we are taking a look at a couple based in Appleton, Wisconsin. I had to look up Appleton because I was like, what a cute name. First of all, I can totally picture this really cute fall vibes with apple cider, Appleton, pumpkins, you know, the works. Aside from what an awesome little town Appleton is, I want to help this couple out because I saw some things that definitely need to be reworked. So first off, this is a engaged couple. One person is a help desk analyst. The fiance is a trucker. The biggest things they struggle with financially is spending money I don't have and going out and eating more than I should with each other. Their top 2 to 3 financial goals they want to accomplish is get their wedding fund built up. Their wedding is in October. Love that. That's my birthday month. And then they want to have their savings built up. They have about $400 in an emergency fund. And they also told me that their top priority is funding their wedding and then debt payoff. And they're not getting any financial help from their family for the wedding. They're struggling with wanting to save more, but not wanting to go bare bones and still living their life, which is totally my jam. So I'm so glad you submitted your budget to me. Let's go over to the budget and check it out. Let's take a look at their total monthly income of around $7,000 per month. I like that. That's a good income to work with between the two of you. And then they've got their monthly expenses, some of their savings, and then they're actually showing a net down here. At least for planned money, they still have a net here. And then for their actual spending, they've got a net of $700. So we've got money to work with. Let's take a look at the debt situation because $47,000 in debt probably does not feel very good. So we've got a personal loan, a camper loan, a Chevy loan, school loan, Cabela's credit card, Mission Lane credit card, Amex credit card, dental, and another Credit One credit card. Lots of credit cards I see. Okay, so some of these debt balances aren't that high, but if you're not careful, they can run away from you, especially with these interest rates. My God, I cannot believe this interest rate is 35.24%. Now, you don't have a lot of money on that Mission Lane credit card, but that interest rate is terrible. I cannot even believe that is a real interest rate that I'm looking at. Ooh, that is not good. But we've got a plan because you definitely have enough income to help address a lot of these debts. Let's take a look at some of your fixed expenses here. So I see rent mortgage payment of $1,065, cell phone of $175. This feels really high. Are you on a device payment plan here? Are these 2 devices? I'm assuming it's 2 devices with 2 payment plans each. This is really high too. I would encourage you to take a look if you are close to paying off that device. Take a look at other data plans that are much, much cheaper for you. Mint Mobile is part of the T-Mobile network. You've heard me talk about it if you've seen some of these reviews before, but it's been such a game changer for a simple need that I have for cell phone data and coverage, and I'm still getting that as part of the T-Mobile network. Ryan Reynolds owns it. Check it out in my description box. See if you can make the switch. $30 for an unlimited plan. Okay, let's take a look at everything else. Electricity, groceries looks good. Gas, $200, car insurance, and then they also gave me a note here that this includes the camper as well as 2 cars. So $140 a month for car insurance for all 3. I think that's actually pretty good. Ooh, baby, the restaurants though. We set up a checking account just for out to eat and put in $150 each paycheck into this account, but you spent $750 on eating out. That is a problem because we definitely don't want you like eating your income basically. And I would encourage you for this particular expense, I would encourage you to try this for the next 2 weeks. Write down every single time you went out to eat, including fast food, drive-through, that sort of thing, the date, where you went, how much it was. Do this for 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, go back and review the list and then put a positive, negative, or neutral symbol next to each transaction. Did this transaction make you feel really good? Is this something that you love to do and love to indulge in? A favorite restaurant, a favorite coffee shop? Were you like, neutral about it? I pretty much do this when I don't have a plan in place, such as I run through Starbucks and I just didn't have a plan. Or did it make you feel negative? Like, I really overspent on that particular dining experience and I didn't really feel like amazing after. I want you to get more intentional about that and focus on the eating out habits that you love and cutting out the rest. Oftentimes we're just looking for that thrill of going out and trying something new, or we're just bored, or we're lazy, or we didn't have any sort of meal prep plan in place. Even if you're not a cook, what you can do is go to your local grocery store, or I encourage people who have a Trader Joe's in their area, because I love Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is the king of frozen ready-made meals. Their frozen section has a ton of ready-made meals that you can take home with you, literally heat up in the oven or on a pan in the skillet or on the stovetop in a skillet, and it's done. So think about ways that you can still kind of indulge in something fun, but you make it at home. That's going to cut down on the restaurant spending as well. I also see that there's no room for any of these other categories, but it does look like you have $800 going towards fun. Holy cow. $200 each paycheck for each of us. I love that you guys are doing fun money spending. I just think it may be a little too much for the things that you have in place and what you want to do, because you're doing $800 towards the fun and only $500 towards the wedding and $400 towards the emergency fund. And I think you put a note here, trying to get it to $1,000 as soon as possible. Then after the wedding, we'll be increasing to 3 to 6 months. And then for the wedding, you have a goal of $5,000 by October. But then I'm also taking a look up here at the debt, because you actually put $400 towards this personal loan, even though the minimum is $278. Are you doing minimums on everything else? No, the Cabela's card. And then it also looks like you did $300 towards Cabela's, even though the minimum is $65. They say this one drives me nuts. I'm sticking by this balance, which is why I'm focusing on this one, but keeping my payments set for the loan so they can be finished up on the schedule I have set up for myself. Let's rework the schedule here, because I feel like you're kind of trying to do all of the things at once. And what's happening is, think of your money as energy. You're putting that energy out into like 4 or 5 different places right now. Cabela's, the personal loan, the emergency fund, the wedding, the fun money, the restaurants. It's just going out in so many different directions that it's only moving everything marginally, like just a few inches. Rather, if we can really focus on one particular goal and put the most amount of energy or money towards that particular goal, I think you're really going to see a lot of progress in a shorter amount of time. So first things first, you said you wanted to do $1,000 for that emergency fund before the wedding, and then after the wedding, 3 to 6 months. That's fine if you want to do it that way, given that you're about 6 months out from the wedding. So right now you've got $400 in the emergency fund. You need $600 left. So really you could hit that. Actually, what I would love for you to do, if I may, if I was going to treat this as the next month's budget, and if I can move things around, here's what I would do. I would just do $600 just to get that fully funded and knocked out to the 1K. Then after that, what I want you to do is build this up to 3 months of living expenses, basic living expenses, which would be all of this right here, which is $2,117. So 2,117 times 3. We're looking at a starter emergency fund for you of $63.51, and that's the amount that you should be really putting money towards that goal after the wedding. So this is kind of step one, $600 to max out to 1,000K for your first goal. After that, we can reduce that let's say reduce it to like $100 or $200. And now we're going to be putting the majority of your money towards the wedding, because you need $5,000 and you've got about $1,300. So we need $3,700 more at a pace of $500 a month. You're going to hit that goal after the wedding. So really we need to fund that. We need to add more money to your wedding fund. So $3,700, let's go divide by 5. We need to be putting $740 per month. Ideally, we can do that. We can easily do that. Yeah, I almost want to do wedding even more than this. I want like 900. This is easy. You have so much money here to play with based off if you're only making minimum payments on the debt for now, which I would really focus on bolstering this wedding budget as much as possible after you hit the 1K emergency fund. And then after October, then we're really going to start we're going to zero this out, right? So then this could be like, I don't know, $1,200. We could even do $2,000 at this point for sure. So if you were to do 1,000 plus 200 times 6 plus 1,000 plus 400, by the time you get to October, you'd have about $2,600. Yeah, you'd have $2,600 in your emergency fund once you've built it up to $1,000 next month, and then you contributed $200 for the next 6 months. You'd have $2,600. Then we need to do $6,350. You'd have $3,750 that you would need to build up after that. I feel like you could have a 3-month emergency fund by the end of this year. You would be having to make minimum payments on all of your debts during this time. And the reason why we're doing this is because your wedding is coming up first and foremost, and we definitely don't want to add wedding debt to the existing credit cards. That's not going to fly. That's not going to make you happy. We're going to cash flow the immediate need, which is the wedding. And we really want you guys to have a fun time with that. Notice how I didn't change anything with the fun money spending or the restaurant spending here. So really, I think you do have a lot more money to play with if you wanted to temporarily reduce this from the $200 per paycheck to $100 per paycheck or $150 per paycheck. I'm just curious what you're using the fun money spending for. I definitely want you to still live your life and also prioritize some of the big stuff like the emergency fund and the wedding. After that, after October, we can take a look at some of the debt. So actually, I'm going to change this October. Let's say end of October. And obviously these balances are going to increase based off of your interest rate. What you can do is we can change this amount. So already your minimums are $1,355. Oh my gosh, $1,355. So even if we could add another $2,000 to this, so let's say $3,400 all in, this is looking really good. Because if you wanted to do the high interest method, the avalanche method of paying off the debt that has the highest interest rate, you could easily knock out 6 debts within 3 months just by doing the highest interest rate. Let's take a look at Snowball, where we're paying off the smallest balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 debts. Ooh, I even like this. Okay, so you guys could have completely paid off everything in 2 years' time. So I love this. In 3 months, you're paying off a shit ton of debt, including that Cabela's card. If you can live with that Cabela's card for the next year-ish, I think you're gonna be just fine. If you're like, oh my God, I can't even think about just making minimums of $65 with a 20% interest, recognize that you're still going to be putting the majority of your money towards the wedding and the emergency fund. Maybe you could put a little bit of extra towards a specific debt. Right now, doing the personal loan and the Cabela's card with the extra payment like that is not gonna fly. You really need to pick a specific debt and go after it in full force. So if it was the Snowball, or if you're like, I wanna do custom and I just wanna get rid of the Cabela's card and do that one first and then have all these others like fall behind that, that's fine too. I would just focus on Cabela's and not do this split of $400 here and $300 here. I would really focus on a specific card. But again, the priorities right now really are the wedding and then the emergency fund, and then start working your debt payoff plan. And keep in mind, Like, your debt payoff journey is really, really short. If you can truly put $2,000 towards the debt, you're gonna be debt-free in less than 2 years, a year and 3 months. I think that's awesome. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you in terms of prioritizing your financial goals and being able to hit all of the things that you want while still enjoying and living your life. If you wanna take this further, I highly encourage you to check out my signature coaching program, where we discuss privately in a 90-day intensive program for you to get your finances on track and let me help you stay accountable to your goals. If you like these types of reviews, which I think you all do because I'm seeing the views, be sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Give this one a big thumbs up, hit the like button, and I will catch you in the next one.